Hey, can I tell you something? Can I tell you something naughty? Drop a 1 down below if I can tell you something just a little bit naughty. In fact, I'm almost embarrassed to admit this to you right now, but I feel like I need to admit this to you right now. Is it okay? Drop down 1 below if I can tell you something a little bit naughty. My phone, when it died for the second time in a row, I'm sitting here looking at this black screen after I did 2 20-minute lives that both crashed right in the middle of it. My brain said, Sherry, you can't do this tonight. You need to go do something else. You are not meant to do this Facebook Live tonight, so you can't do it. And the second those words came out of my mouth, Katie, came out of my mouth, Greg and Melissa and Larry, and the second those words came out of my mouth, all of a sudden, bam, in my DNA, my brain said, you must. If you can't, you must. You can't, you must. You can't, you must. And what I learned that from was a couple years ago, I programmed that into my DNA. True story. I was at the Robbins research event, and what he said from stage was, he said, okay, if your brain ever tells you you can't, you got to train your DNA to say, I must. So I can't, I must. I can't, I must. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean? You feel like you can't drive your car off a bridge and go into the water? Then you must. And he said straight up, he said, don't be stupid. Don't be dumb. Hello, be smart about this. What it means is if you feel like you can't do something that's going to better you, better other people, better society, better the outcome, if you feel like you can't do it, that's when you got to say, I must. I must. So when your phone dies, not once, but 2 times, I must get back on here. So hello, everybody. I'm glad you guys are back here for the 3rd time, Miss Kay, Mr. Jim Lewis, Greg, all of you guys. Thank you for coming back for the 3rd time. If you guys are watching live, drop a 1 down below. If you guys are watching on the replay, which will eventually get a replay, go ahead and drop replay down below. And by the way, my name is Sherry Hollenbach, and it's an honor to get to hang out with you today. And one thing I got to tell you is yesterday we talked about how to change your identity. Does your identity serve you or does it not serve you? And where did your identity even come from? And how do you change your identity? And I had some questions come up in my inbox after the live yesterday, which, by the way, I honor every single one of you guys and all the questions. My inbox is blowing up because I can really tell who's really digging in and wanting to level up their life, level up their relationship, just their passion, level up their money situation, create these money machines that can impact generations to come, level up their energy levels, level up their physical body, just level up their happiness. I honor every single one of you guys, regardless where you're at, because you're at this part right here, and here's where you want to be, and you want to learn how to close the gap. At least I think you do. Do you? You guys want to learn how to close the gap? Just drop down the word hashtag I'm a closer. I'm a closer, you guys. All right, welcome back. Let's get started. Here's one thing I want to tell you. Is one of the messages, I feel like this is very important. Hello. I feel like this is really important to say. Some of the messages I got in the inbox was some people were telling me, sure, it's just not that easy. I need some help. I can't just change this identity of mine. See, I got these problems. I said, okay, well, what's the problems? And as I was just listening to the problems, Destiny, as I was listening to the problems, Seth, Brenda, Kay, as you guys are coming on, just drop down a hey girl, hey, as you guys are coming in. I want to say hi. But as they were talking to me, what I realized was there was 3 P's coming up. 3 P's, these are the 3 deadly P's. If I would, I'd probably take out a pen and paper and I would write these down for any case you may ever be suffering in the future. This will get you out of it instantly. The 3 P's are this. Number 1 is if you are suffering, number 1, you feel like the problem is permanent, which means it will never get better. This is something you're gonna have to deal with your whole entire life. So P number 1 is you feel like it's permanent. As I was listening to these stories, I realized there was a permanency to the problem, the belief of permanency. Number 2 is pervasiveness, meaning they felt like it was their entire life. It wasn't just this little tiny screw up over here in the financial realm. Their life was a screw up. It wasn't just a mistake over here that happened in the kitchen. Their life was a mistake. Like this one problem affected their whole entire life, pervasiveness. And by the way, if you have a problem that you feel like is affecting your whole entire life, of course you're suffering, but that's belief number 2. And the 3rd P of the last P, to make it 3 Ps, the 3rd P is going to be personal. As I was listening, they felt like the problem was them. It wasn't a lack of communication over here. It wasn't a lack in money over here. It wasn't, they were the problem. It wasn't a mistake over here. They were the mistake. It wasn't a miscommunication. They were the miscommunication. Like they are the problem. So 3 things just really quick. If you're ever suffering, you got to catch yourself asking yourself, number 1, do I feel like it's permanent? Number 2, is this pervasive? And number 3, is it personal? Is it just me? And these beliefs are so important because these beliefs as we're learning about right now, which, by the way, I honor all of you. I honor all of you guys for sticking with me for 3 times in a row. Can you guys do a hashtag I'm awesome talking about you? Hashtag I'm freaking awesome. I honor the fact you guys are on here still, so thank you. But why beliefs are so important is the second we have this belief in our head, like this problem is permanent, all of a sudden our brain goes into autopilot and builds all these table legs, builds all these references, goes to our past, present, and future, or in our imagination, and builds reference points that validate that belief. Whether it's true or not, it will manipulate events in your life to validate the belief that this is permanent, this is pervasive, this is personal, it is me. Are you guys following? Hashtag follow if you guys are following with me. So here's this. Here's why I want to just get out of the open just to make it super short here because my phone's probably going to die in another 3 minutes. So who says Sherry Hollenbach cannot do a Facebook Live in under 5 minutes? Watch it take place here. Do you guys believe in me? Do you believe that I can do it in less than 5 minutes? Okay, I better get talking. All right, so there's 3 different levels I want to talk about. Yesterday, I talked about an idea. An idea is something, or an opinion is something that just pops into your head. It can be somebody tells you something like I'm not quite sure if that business is really going to work for you. I'm not quite sure that girl is really the right girl for you. I'm not quite sure, I don't know if you can handle it. So these ideas or opinions can come from other people or they can come from your best friend, the mind. But either way, if it's just an opinion, it can be changed within just a second. Number 2, once the belief starts to get legs underneath it, or once the little idea gets legs underneath it, which is reference points from your past, present, and future, or made up into your mind, then it becomes stronger and it becomes a belief. But there's one more level we did not talk about. I'm saying 1, but I'm showing you 3 because it's the 3rd level. The 3rd level is called a conviction. And what happens is once your idea has enough tabletops, so many different legs, it actually becomes a solid trunk and becomes a conviction. And the conviction is where it gets a little bit scary because that's when you don't question it anymore. It just is what it is. That's who they are. That's who I am. That's how it is. That's how the world is. That's how this race is. That's how this system is. It's just, oh my gosh, it says 2%. Okay, it's just how it is. By the way, I'm still accepting applications for those that want to come work for me. Your only job is just to charge my cell phone at all times. Your rent, there's an 8-bedroom home here, 6,000 square feet. You guys can just live with me. Your only rent is just to charge my cell phone bill. And maybe charge my phone. And maybe you guys feed Bentley. You maybe water him a couple times. That would be awesome. All right, just letting you know. Bring it back. So let's just dig into these. Because these convictions, if we don't question them anymore, that's where they get really deadly because they may serve you, but they may not serve you. And once we don't question it anymore, then that's just how it is. So let's just dig in. What I want you to do, here's a homework to make it quick. This is part of chapter 4 in Awaken the Giant Within. What I want you to do is just take a moment and I want you to write down every single one. Hello, Jim. Hey, Jason, Kay, Zoe, everybody. All right, what I want you guys to go and do for just a moment is I want you to write down, not write down, because we don't have time on here, but I want you to write down, this is homework number 1, so write down. I want you to write down every single one of your empowering beliefs, beliefs that serve you. Beliefs that serve you, serve others, serve the ultimate outcome, like these beliefs that you currently have. Not that you want to have, but you currently have. So I want you to take a moment, not right now, but whenever you get done, pause it for 10 minutes and write down all these different empowering beliefs you believe. Like, I always find a way. If I want something bad enough, I get it. I always find a way. I am intelligent. Like, if I put my mind to it, I accomplish it. Whatever yours are, don't use mine unless they're yours. But whatever yours are, write down all your empowering beliefs that serve you. And then another category, I want you to put in some sad music now, like get emotionally involved. And I want you to write down all your disempowering beliefs. Not that you want to believe them, but what is disempowering in here? What's holding you back? What thought? So write down all your disempowering beliefs. So take 10 minutes after you get done watching this and write down all your empowering beliefs and beliefs that serve you, serve others, serve the ultimate outcome, and write down all your disempowering beliefs. And then what I want you to go ahead and do, step number 2, is I want you to circle 2 of your empowering beliefs that you really want to strengthen. Like you want to add some muscle to that. Like you really like that belief and you really want to turn it from a belief into a conviction to where you don't even question it anymore. You don't ever question, am I intelligent? You don't ever question, can I find a way? You don't ever question, am I relentless? Like whatever empowering beliefs, 2 of them, pick them, circle them, that you want to strengthen, and then go over to the disempowering belief side, and I want you to circle 2 of them that you want to abolish, you want to get rid of. You guys good? Hashtag follow. Are you guys good right now? I gotta know. Are you good right now? Hashtag follow. Okay, number 3. What we're gonna go ahead and do is we're gonna strengthen those empowering beliefs that you want to strengthen. And the reason why you want to do this is because you want to dig the well before it gets thirsty. It's not if you're going to need these, it's when life is going to show up and force you to use these. And you're going to want to make sure you have like your safety net in place, your insurance policy in place, to where whenever you start questioning everything in your life, or whenever life shows up in a way you weren't ready for it to be packaged, all of a sudden you have this conviction. No matter what, you will find a way. You have this conviction, you have relentless strength. You have this conviction, you will always lead with love. You have this conviction, whatever the conviction is, you always find a way. You got to learn how to strengthen that. So what I want you to do is take time, those 2 that you circled, and I want you to now strengthen it. How can you strengthen it, Katie? How can you strengthen it? Walker, Zoe. Hi, Zoe. Seth, you're so brilliant. How can you strengthen this? Well, if you watched any of my other 2 videos that I just did like a few seconds ago before it got crashed, how can you strengthen these? Hit the heart button if you know the answer. You just build a whole bunch of references, build a whole bunch of legs. So how you do that is I want you to go to your past, present, and future. Go maybe possibly get these from other people or books or in your imagination, but do whatever it takes to build up a whole bunch of different references to strengthen that table, because all the differences between a belief and a conviction is there's a heck of a lot more legs. And the more emotionally charged these reference points can be, the quicker it's going to become a conviction. You guys got this? Any questions, just drop it down below and I'll make sure I detail answer this. I know I'm going through this really fast. So you want to strengthen those. And then the last part you want to do to these empowering beliefs is you want to take action. So if your empowering belief that you want to strengthen is, I'm insanely healthy and I have so much energy because I take care of myself, then take action on that, like now. So throw all the pop out of the fridge and get water. Like quit eating fast food or whatever. If your belief is, I always lead with love, then do something that takes action on it tomorrow. Like go do something that will show love. The more action you can take that will validate that belief, the more your brain starts to believe it. See, affirmations don't work. Affirmations are, I'm smart, I'm smart, I'm smart. I'm lovable, I'm enough, I'm enough, I'm enough. But see, the brain says, no, you're not, shut up. Like get back in your corner and shut up. But a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, but a person cannot deny their own conclusions. If you guys love that quote, drop down hashtag love. I'm obsessed with that quote. And what that means is a person convinced against their will. So if you're just telling yourself, I am enough, I am enough, and I am enough, like a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still. They're not going to believe it. But a person cannot deny their own experiences, their own conclusions. And that's why it's so important to go into your past, bring all these reference points that you actually personally experienced and bring it underneath you. So take your past, present, and future experiences, bring them together, put them underneath your table, like actually write it out, and then go and create more action steps that will validate that belief. Okay, now what are we going to be doing? Good job. Hello, my friends. Say it again. Is a person convinced against their will is of the same opinion still, but the person cannot deny their own experiences, their own conclusions. Meaning if I tell you something, that's cool, but you will believe it 10 million times % more if you actually come up with the conclusion on yourself. So that's why I want to tell you all the answers. I want to tell you everything. And it's like there's some gaps I'm leaving out, but I don't want to tell you the answers. I want you to use your brain. Like I want you to find out that like the truth inside your mind, what is real for you. So the question is, what do you get rid of? What do you want to do with these disempowering beliefs? Okay, so circle the 2 bad ones that you want to like abolish, and it's really simple. All you do is you ask yourself a couple questions. Okay, write this down quickly before this dies. Question number 1 is, number 1, decide right now that you are no longer willing to pay the price these limiting beliefs are charging your life. So number 1, make a decision like you're done with these limiting beliefs and start questioning these right here. Number 1, how is this belief stupid? So whatever your limiting belief is, can you guys drop down what is your limiting belief, or what is a limiting belief? By the way, we have a whole bunch of them. Thank your childhood. Whoa, I thought my phone just died, but it's just a call coming in, so we're still here. Okay, so what is your limiting belief? Drop it down below. I just want to know, like, help me. Thank you, Kay. Okay, another phone call. We're back on. Drop down your limiting belief down below, and so I can give you some examples. But whatever your limiting belief is like, I'm not enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not whatever. So ask yourself, number one, how is this limiting belief stupid? How is it ridiculous? Like with mine, the first time I did it was, I am not enough. And when I realized I wrote that out, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, did I really just say that? So then I had to ask myself, how is this belief stupid? And so I wrote down all the reasons why it's stupid. So like, Zoe, thank you so much, Zoe. I'm unlovable. I'm not worthy, Kay. Thank you so much, you guys. Okay, how is the fact that you're not, like the idea that you're not worthy, how is that stupid? Drop it down below. How is that stupid? How is it stupid, Zoe, that you feel unlovable? How is that stupid? Write that down. Step number one. Step number two, this is heavy. Was the person you learned this belief from worth modeling in that area? So wherever you gathered the belief, whoever put the idea that you weren't lovable in your head, are they worth modeling in this area of your life, of their life? The person that said you're not worthy or put that belief in your head, are they worth modeling in that area? The person. And so whenever I thought back this, I'm like, who the heck, like who told me that I wasn't enough? Like who told me I wasn't good enough? And so I had to actually go back in my mind, and all of a sudden, bam, it hit me. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And it was some dude I used to work with, and I was in this relationship. This was a long time ago. I was in this relationship, and the guy actually came up to me, not the guy I was dating, but this coworker of mine. And he says, Sherry, you better stick with that guy, because you will never find anybody that will put up with you. And you will never find anybody that will put up with your drive or with your schedule. Like, nah, you got him or you're going to get nothing. And I remember at that time thinking, I was like, okay, whatever. I didn't think for a second it would impact me, 5 years later. But that's the first thing that came to my mind. And I'm like, okay, is that guy worth modeling? Does he have the relationship I want? Does he have the love I want? Does he have the passion I want? And the answer is no. Him and his wife hate each other. Him and his wife are constantly complaining about each other. I don't even know if they're still married, but at the time, they were like this cold, jaded couple. So is the person that gave you that limiting belief, are they worth modeling? Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no? Let me just tell you. The answer is no. But don't listen to me. Find it out by asking yourself. Okay, so third thing. Hope you guys are writing these down. Third thing. What will it cost you if you continue to believe that, Chuck? If you continue to believe that, Kay, that's right. That's right, Chuck. That's right, Kay. That's right, Todd. If you continue to believe this belief, what's it going to cost you? Here we are attaching the pain here. Remember, if you ever want to get yourself to do something, you attach intense pain to the behavior you want to get rid of and intense pleasure to the behavior you want to condition and keep forever. So here, step number 3 is you're going to cause intense pain if you want to get rid of these things. So what's it going to cost you? What has it already cost you? By holding on to these limiting beliefs, what's it cost you in your past? What's it cost you emotionally, financially, relationship, in your family, who's no longer in your life anymore because you held on to this belief? What's it costing you right now? And what's it going to cost you in the future? In 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, if you continue to hold on to this. So what you want to go ahead and do. Hello, Miss Pam. Hello, Mr. Joe. Zoe. What's it going to cost you? So it's the easy 3 steps. Number 1 is, how is this belief stupid? Whatever limiting belief you want to get rid of, how is this belief stupid? Number 2, whoever gave you the belief, are they really worth modeling? Like, are they successful in that specific area? And number 3, what's this belief cost you? Past, present, and future. And the more painful you can make it, the more assured you're going to get rid of it. Now, then what you do, the final step with this is you create the opposite. So what is the opposite? And that's always your truth. So if your belief is, I'm not enough, then your belief is, I'm plenty enough. But some people message me and they want even some more details. So let me give you some more guidance on this. If you really want to figure out what empowering beliefs you really want to start conditioning into your life, let me give you some good questions to ask yourself. Here's question number 1. Ask yourself, what would I need to believe in order to have the success in my financial life, in order to have success in my love life, in order to have success in my physical body? What would I have to believe in order to have success in this X area of my life? Think about that. Or another way you can take it is, who has a success in this area of my life? Who has everything I want in the love life? Who has everything I want in the money life? Who has everything I want in the time freedom? Who has everything I want in the energy and the physical body? Like, who has that? And what do they believe? And then take that belief and make it your own. They believe that the answer is always love. They believe that people are inherently amazing people. They believe that every event in your life happens to serve you. It just might not be packaged how you want. So every moment in your life is a gift. It's a teaching moment. Like your phone dying 2 times in a row. That's a teaching moment for me. It was a gift. Like, what do they believe? Good job, Jim Lewis. Good job, Chuck. Good job, Joe. Good job, Luke. Okay. So, and then what you need to go ahead and do is you need to take action on it to condition it. So if your belief is, I am enough and I am loved, Jim, I want you to do something within the next 24 hours that validates that point. Some sort of action. Chuck, what believe in yourself first. Number one, like, okay, so let's say your belief is like, I believe in myself. Okay, do something in the next 24 hours that validates that. The more action you can take that will validate the belief, the more reference points it gives you. And the more intense and the more impersonal, the bigger the reference points are. So you can build your convictions. And once you get convictions, you don't question them anymore. And you can build your convictions to be whatever you want. Period. You can set these convictions up to serve you in your life. See, these convictions are already set up into your life. You just don't realize them because they were built into you whenever you're like 2 years old, and they were built in whenever you're like a kid. And most convictions you don't even question, so you wouldn't even think about them right now. But your convictions are what guides you to go or not go, to hesitate, to run, to love, to hate, to say yes, to say no. Your convictions are the parts of you that says, I'm not that type of person. I don't do that kind of thing. When did you figure that out? When you were 3? All right, so let's go start intentionally building what our convictions are before we actually need them. Dig the well before you're thirsty. So in closing, I want to tell you this story. And the story is this. This is a brilliant point about building a conviction when there's no reference points available. And that's by this lady named Marva Collins. If you have heard of that name, let's drop a one down below if you've ever heard about that name, is Marva Collins. She was featured on 60 Minutes. I'm going to bring you up here just a little bit. There you go. I want to sit on my couch. So Marva Collins was featured on 60 Minutes. She was also featured in a movie. They did a movie about her. But she basically was this teacher that moved into this ghetto Chicago and was going to teach the little kindergartners. And whenever she showed up there in the ghetto, which the graduation rate was like, I don't know, less than 10%, you know, the daily school shootings was a regular basis, like it's ghetto. And she showed up and she went to class and the kids, disrespectful, F this, F that, not paying attention. Half of them were starved, like horrible situation. But they were not wanting to learn, let's just say that. And so as she was observing them, she decided to make a decision. And she's like, hey, I got to get through to these kids. This is my one shot. This is my one shot to make a difference in these kids' life. Let me figure this out. And she decided that these kids, the problem was they just aren't challenged enough. They need to be challenged. These kids are so smart, but they're being read, see, spot, run. They're being given, where's Waldo? They're being given these crowns. Go draw a picture. Here's a circle. She said, no, these kids need to be challenged. That's their problem. And so what she did was she got rid of all the See Spot Run books. She got rid of all the kindergarten books. And what she replaced it with is Shakespeare. She replaced it with these college textbooks. Who does that? Kindergartners? Who does that? This lady, Marva. So she brought all this stuff in and decided to teach college level material to kindergartners in ghetto Chicago. How do you think the parents reacted? Let me just tell you. Ghetto. The parents reacted with violence. The parents reacted with threatenings. The coworkers around her had threatened her. They had attacked her. Her own boss, the school district, had threatened her position. And she was quoted multiple times to be destroying these kids' life. Fast forward today, Marva has impacted tens of thousands of kids' lives. Marva today, they've made a movie about her. Marva today has been featured over news channels all over the world. Because she made a difference. How she made a difference was she built up this belief when there was no belief there. See, she had this belief that these kids were brilliant. She had these beliefs that these kids needed to go to college. She had this belief that there was so much more in these kids that they needed. Like they just needed her help to get to the next level. And once she had that idea, this belief, then she built up all these different reference points. See, once you have this idea in your head, your brain on autopilot will go by and build all these reference points in the past, the present, and the future, and they will create reference points to support the belief. It does it on its own. You can do it intentionally, but it does it on its own. And so she kept doing that. And then fast forward today, a movie, 60 Minutes, featured in Tony Robbins' book. But Tony Robbins went to actually go interview one of the kids. And here's the closing story I want to tell you. The interview with the kids was with this 4-year-old. And the 4-year-old came up to Tony and he said, "Hey, my name is Talmadge Griffin. I'm 4 years old." And Tony's like, "Oh, nice to meet you, little guy. What are you learning about?" He said, "Well, Mr. Robbins, I'm learning about multiple different books right now. What specifically would you like to know?" A 4-year-old. And Tony's like, "Well, what exactly was your last book you read?" And the little boy said, "Well, I just finished reading Of Mice and Men." And Tony's like, "What the heck?" Like, by John Steinbeck. John Steinbeck, yeah, I'm pretty sure I read that like in college, like my 3rd or 4th year. He was like, "Whoa!" This little 4-year-old said he just finished reading Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. He's a 4-year-old. And Tony's like, "Okay, well, tell me more about this book." And the kid wanted to say, well, the protagonist and then the antagonist and then the climax. And he said, this book, Tony, Mr. Robbins, just permeated my soul. 4-year-old. So I'm going to repeat a 4-year-old. 40-year-old people don't use the word permeated. How many of you guys know what the word permeated means, by the way? Drop a 2 down below. If you have no idea, drop a 3 down below. I'm just curious. But Tony said, okay, Talmadge, tell me, what is your best teaching moment? And he said this: "I noticed in the story that children never judge anyone else by the color of their skin. Only adults do. So I said, Mr. Robbins, I know someday I'm going to grow up to be an adult. And the lesson I learned from this book is I always need to remember the lessons of a child." Hashtag boom. Hashtag freaking boom. He said, "Also, Mr. Robbins, here's what I learned. Society, my friends, the world will try to predict where I'm going to end up at, but it is only me that decides what my destiny will be. Society can try to predict, but it's up to me what my destiny will be." Done. Enough there. If you guys got value out of this, drop a hashtag value. If you guys got value, and also if you don't mind, drop down your biggest teaching moment you got from this and the homework. I urge you. Here's what my inner belief is. That my inner belief is every single one of you guys watching this right now has inner desire in you guys to do more and be more and serve more. Just give more. You have so much amazingness inside you that's just like dying to get unleashed. And it's right there. And so I urge you right now to start number 1. Just get all those beliefs out, all the empowering beliefs, all the disempowering beliefs. Just strengthen those empowering beliefs by doing the homework we just talked about. Abolish those disempowering beliefs by abolishing them, how we just finished talking about. Because I'm telling you, right now, you are the connection to impacting tens of thousands of humans' lives. And they're just waiting for you. Just like this little boy, Talmadge, was waiting for Marva. There's all these reasons why she couldn't do it. She had no real reference points to believe that she could do it. But she created it within her, just like you guys can do tonight. So with that said, in the meantime, can you guys have the most incredible night of your life? Bye, everybody.